Living alone is not loneliness. It is liberation. It is the freedom to build your own rhythm, hear your own thoughts, and trust your own strength. No arguments, no compromises on your peace, no pretending to be someone you're not. When you live alone, you discover the deepest companionship with yourself. You become the source of your own joy, security, and power. That is a love no relationship can match. Freedom to live by your own rules is not just about physical independence. It is about reclaiming the power to define your life without compromise. When you live alone, you are not bound by the expectations, preferences, or moods of another person. You wake up when you want, sleep when you choose, eat what you love, and structure your day in a way that aligns with your personal rhythm. This sense of autonomy is deeply liberating because it eliminates the invisible negotiations that occur when sharing a life with someone else. Every action, from the smallest morning ritual to major life decisions, becomes an expression of who you truly are rather than a diluted version shaped to keep the peace in a relationship. Many people underestimate how much mental energy is spent in adjusting for others, choosing words carefully to avoid conflict, planning meals to suit different tastes, or compromising on lifestyle habits that feel unnatural. Living alone allows you to reclaim this energy and redirect it into self-discovery and personal growth. You can explore hobbies without judgment, decorate your space to reflect your soul, and create routines that support your mental, emotional, and physical well-being. The absence of external pressure creates an environment where authenticity thrives. You no longer have to filter your desires or downplay your dreams to accommodate someone else's comfort zone. Living by your own rules also means freedom from the silent expectations society places on relationships. In a world that often glorifies companionship, solitude becomes a rebellion against conformity. It is a bold declaration that your happiness is not dependent on validation, approval, or constant interaction. This freedom grants you the ability to take risks, chase unconventional goals, and make decisions without hesitation. You can quit a job and move to a new city without worrying about how it affects a partner. You can spend an entire weekend in silence, reading, meditating, or simply existing without the weight of explanation. This kind of liberty nurtures not only independence but also self-respect, as you prove to yourself that you are capable of designing a fulfilling life on your own terms. There is also a profound psychological shift that occurs when you live this way. Instead of measuring your worth through the dynamics of a relationship, you begin to measure it through your ability to create happiness independently. You are no longer a character in someone else's narrative. You become the author of your own. Your space, your time, your choices all reflect the unfiltered version of you. And with each decision you make for yourself, you strengthen the foundation of self-trust, learning that your instincts are reliable and your inner voice is enough. Zero emotional chaos or drama means stepping into a life where peace is no longer negotiable. Relationships, no matter how loving, often come with misunderstandings, arguments, silent treatments, or unspoken resentments that drain mental energy. Living alone creates a sanctuary where emotional turbulence is replaced by clarity, stability, and calm. There are no sudden mood swings to decode, no conflicts to mediate, and no hidden expectations lurking beneath every conversation. Your environment becomes predictable in the best possible way, a place where your mind can rest without anticipating the next emotional storm. Emotional chaos in relationships often stems from differing needs, communication gaps, or conflicting values. One partner may crave constant attention while the other values solitude. One may see a casual comment as criticism, while the other views it as harmless. These small frictions accumulate, creating a low-grade tension that can subtly erode happiness. Living alone removes this constant negotiation of emotional states. There is no need to walk on eggshells, wonder what someone is feeling, or interpret passive-aggressive behavior. The emotional climate of your life becomes one of serenity because it is dictated solely by your own inner balance. This absence of drama also allows for deeper emotional healing. Many people enter relationships carrying unresolved wounds from childhood, past heartbreaks, or personal insecurities. These often resurface in the form of jealousy, fear of abandonment, or need for control. When living alone, you are no longer forced to confront someone else's projections on top of your own. Instead, you can sit with your emotions, process them, and release them without external pressure. The quietness of solitude becomes a space where emotional intelligence grows, not through conflict resolution with others, but through learning how to regulate your own feelings with grace and maturity. The lack of drama also enhances mental clarity. Arguments, whether big or small, take up enormous cognitive bandwidth. Hours can be spent replaying a conversation, questioning what was said, or worrying about the aftermath. This mental chatter creates stress, anxiety, and even physical tension. When you live alone, those endless loops disappear. Your mind is free to focus on meaningful pursuits, personal growth, creative projects, or simply experiencing life without the weight of unresolved conflicts. Emotional energy that would have been spent on drama now becomes available for joy, curiosity, and purpose-driven living. Furthermore, zero emotional chaos fosters a sense of emotional self-sufficiency. You begin to realize that peace is not something that comes from managing other people, it comes from mastering yourself. By removing the constant push and pull of emotional compromise, you can explore what truly makes you feel calm, centered, and fulfilled. The more you practice creating this inner balance, the less susceptible you become to the chaos of the outside world. You no longer rely on another person to soothe your fears or validate your feelings. You learn to do it yourself. And that in itself is a quiet kind of power. Full control of peace and space is a powerful gift that only living alone can provide. Your environment becomes a reflection of your inner world, free from compromise, free from negotiation, and free from the subtle intrusions that come with sharing it with someone else. When you live alone, every corner of your home serves your needs, your rhythm, and your sense of comfort. There is no clutter that isn't yours, no noise you didn't invite, no energy that feels misaligned. Your space becomes sacred, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally as well. Peace is not simply the absence of noise, it is the presence of harmony. Relationships, no matter how stable, often involve interruptions to this harmony. Conversations when you crave silence, activities when you desire stillness, or disagreements about something as simple as how a room should feel. When you live alone, these small disruptions disappear. You can create a home that feels like a sanctuary, where every detail, lighting, colors, arrangement aligns with your personal sense of tranquility. Whether it's the smell of incense, the sound of soft music, or the choice to embrace silence completely, the control you have over your environment deepens your connection to inner calm. Space also influences the way we think, feel, and grow. Sharing space means constantly adjusting to someone else's habits, their mess, their schedule, their preferences. It can be subtle, but over time, these small compromises chip away at the freedom to move, express, and exist without hesitation. Living alone eliminates this layer of compromise entirely. You can spread out your projects, leave books open where you want, or rearrange furniture in a way that sparks inspiration. There is no need to explain or justify how you live. The space responds only to your intentions. Having full control of peace and space also fosters deeper creativity and self-expression. The absence of external influence allows you to decorate, organize, and design your home in ways that speak to your soul. It becomes an extension of your personality, a physical manifestation of who you are. This not only nurtures a sense of identity, but also fuels personal growth, as the environment becomes a place where ideas flow freely and self-reflection feels natural. Without the need to compromise on aesthetics or atmosphere, you are free to build a setting that nurtures both rest and inspiration. Moreover, the control of space enhances emotional stability. When conflicts or stressful situations arise outside, having a place where you can retreat completely under your command becomes invaluable. There are no unexpected intrusions, no arguments waiting at the door, no emotional residue left in the air. You can regulate the energy of your environment in a way that supports healing, focus, and rejuvenation. This autonomy over one's surroundings is not just about physical comfort, it is about psychological safety, a feeling that everything around you contributes to your well-being rather than disrupts it. Deep self-discovery and growth emerge naturally in solitude because the absence of constant external influence allows you to hear your own inner voice clearly. When you live alone, there are no distractions from someone else's moods, opinions, or expectations shaping how you think or feel. You begin to notice the subtle rhythms of your mind, what inspires you, what drains you, what fears you carry, and what dreams you have long suppressed. This awareness becomes the foundation for transformation as you start peeling back layers of conditioning and uncovering the essence of who you truly are. In relationships, much of our identity is shaped by compromise. We adjust our behavior, tone, and even goals to maintain harmony with another person. While this can foster connection, it often dilutes authenticity. Living alone removes this filter and creates space for radical self-honesty. You can confront your flaws without fear of judgment, embrace your strengths without downplaying them, and pursue your passions without hesitation. The stillness of solitude acts like a mirror, reflecting the parts of yourself that are often hidden beneath the noise of daily interactions. Growth in solitude also stems from the freedom to fail and learn without scrutiny. You can take risks, starting a new project, developing a skill, or adopting a challenging routine without the anxiety of being watched or criticized. There is no pressure to perform for someone else or to meet their standards of progress. Instead, you set your own pace, define your own milestones, and celebrate your own victories. This kind of self-directed development fosters resilience because it teaches you to rely on your own judgment and motivation rather than external validation. Living alone also sharpens emotional awareness. Without the constant feedback loop of another person's emotions, you become attuned to your own. You notice what triggers anxiety, what calms you, and what sparks joy. You learn to regulate your moods not through someone else's comfort, but through practices that resonate with you: meditation, journaling, creative work, or physical movement. Over time, this emotional literacy strengthens your sense of self, making you less susceptible to external chaos and more rooted in inner stability. Furthermore, solitude opens the door to deeper spiritual growth. Whether this takes the form of mindfulness, philosophical inquiry, or a connection to something greater than yourself, the quiet space of living alone nurtures contemplation. It allows you to explore big questions about purpose, meaning, and fulfillment without distraction. This exploration often leads to a profound sense of alignment, where your actions begin to reflect your values and your life feels increasingly intentional. Growth becomes less about external achievements and more about becoming the fullest version of yourself. Independence equals true security because it frees you from relying on anyone else for your happiness, stability, or sense of worth. When you live alone, you build confidence in your ability to handle life's challenges without leaning on constant reassurance or emotional support from another person. You learn to trust your instincts, solve problems creatively, and create a life where your well-being is not at the mercy of someone else's choices or moods. This kind of self-reliance is rare because so many people are conditioned to equate security with companionship, but the deepest form of security comes from knowing you can stand firmly on your own. Living alone forces you to take full responsibility for your life. There is no partner to share bills, divide chores, or offer a safety net when plans go wrong. While this might seem intimidating at first, it quickly becomes empowering. You realize that your stability depends on your ability to manage your time, resources, and emotions effectively. Each challenge you face, fixing something in your home, making a financial decision, or navigating a personal setback, becomes an opportunity to strengthen your resilience. Over time, this builds a quiet confidence that no relationship, no matter how supportive, can provide. True security also stems from emotional independence. When you are alone, you learn to soothe your fears, celebrate your successes, and motivate yourself during difficult times. You stop relying on someone else to validate your feelings or fill emotional voids. Instead, you cultivate practices that anchor you: journaling, mindfulness, fitness, creative pursuits, each reinforcing the belief that you are enough. Emotional self-sufficiency means you can engage with others from a place of wholeness rather than need, making any future connections healthier and more balanced. Independence also provides financial security in ways relationships often cannot. When living alone, you budget for yourself, save for yourself, and make spending decisions based on your priorities. There are no compromises about where money goes or disagreements about financial goals. Every choice supports your vision of stability and growth, reinforcing the sense that you are in control of your future. This independence also allows for greater risk-taking, pursuing career shifts, creative ventures, or investments, because there is no fear of destabilizing someone else's sense of security. Finally, independence brings freedom from the fear of loss. When security depends on a relationship, the thought of losing it can trigger anxiety or lead to self-sacrificing behavior to keep it intact. Living alone eliminates this vulnerability. You know that your happiness, peace, and sense of safety are not tied to anyone else's presence. You have built a life where security comes from within, where your foundation is strong enough to weather change, uncertainty, or solitude. This internal strength is the ultimate form of freedom because it cannot be taken away by circumstances or people.